You would think they would open the doors for me, though. Um... Journal? Nothing in my journal? Reports that the rise in population and fast urban expansion has resulted in the high levels of congestion in the city traffic. The logistics report underlines increased traffic and slow transportation routes as the biggest problem of the capital. The mayor also reported that the absence of a well-designed, large land-based logistics center where all transporters come together is one of the greatest problems from domestic transporters, because Halsland is a big metropolis. Transporters are scattered all over Halsland, having established such center in 10 different districts. The general staff convened right after the election to congratulate our victory. All branches of the Swedish armed forces were represented in the meeting that took place at Camp Strongarm with massive security measures. The chief of the armed forces, Valken Krogan, made a public press statement highlighting the increasing chance of military confrontation in eastern Markopa and requested support to strengthen the military. These are classified. We're not supposed to know this, are we? Peter Vectorn arrived a couple of minutes earlier and sat across from me. He was struggling to hold back his smile. Peter Vectorn. We did it, Antoine. We won. Finally. All those years with our noses into the grindstone paid off. Peter's eyes sparkled. The strain of the past months had put a damper on his usual rakish charm. But today he was looking and acting more like his old self. He loosened his tie and undid a top 2 buttons of his shirt. Enjoying the secretary I picked out for you. Thought you'd appreciate her gorgeous set of talents. It's a shame the rest of your staff aren't as easy on the eyes. He gestured to the slightly pouch that protruded over his waistband. But hey, back in university, did you ever imagine we would be sitting here in the Marin Palace? We have to celebrate the great victory. Celebrate then. I got my hands on something special for us. An Ilori Maroon 30-year-old. We will celebrate at the inaugurated ball. Just hang in there until the evening. This is not the time to celebrate, Peter. We have work to do. Thank you for the Raiders. Yeah, we'll celebrate in the evening. Well, no, we have work to do. Yes, I agree. We've got things to do today. We can let loose at the ball. That's what I was gonna say. Let's move on with the meeting. We'll be talking about our political strategy for this term. Lucien and I have a meeting with the party and the reformists. We mostly see eye to eye, but I would want to know what you think. I hope things are looking good. Great, let's get over this when Lucille arrives. Let's see if we see eye to eye. Things are looking good. The door swung open, and Lucien Galade, my chief strategist, walked in. He was a compact man with sharp, bird-like features. After briefly surveying the room from wall to wall, he sat down, poured a glass of water, and opened his briefcase in a series of quick, graceful movements. Gentlemen! The tall case clock in the room struck 3 o'clock. Damn, you're exactly on time. Hello, Peter. Lucille then turned towards me. He slightly bowed his head. I'm glad to see you. Let's not waste time. Bonk. Glad to see you, Lucille. It is a privilege to be here, sir. Lucille spoke in a soft, clipped tone that immediately drew your attention towards what he had to say. Peter and I waited for him to proceed. Let's start by evaluating our current situation. The majority of the Swedish people demand change. They are more concerned about the economy than the Constitution, but they blame the system for the problems. People are losing their trust in our democracy. Why do you think radicals like Bernard Circus are becoming more popular? Everyone's expecting us to bring the change the last government did not. French Rector, leader of the Reformists, believed that true change can only be accomplished by transferring some of the powers to the Assembly. I will move into the details of their demands shortly. Why is that buffering? I agree with the Reformists. Our responsibility is democratize our broken government. We need to listen to the people if we want to serve this country. Thank you for the raider. If we lose power, we won't be able to execute the changes we need to make for the good of the country. We need to listen to the people. Well, we need to fix the broken system too, eh? I agree with the Reformists. Our responsibility is to democratize our broken system. That's exactly what we campaigned for. A true change that will move the country forward. We will need many allies against the old god and the government. Mr. Rector managed to persuade many members of Assembly to give their support for drafting the Constitution. Reformist politicians are quickly increasing in number. Whilst the reformist wing inside our party is still a minority, they could have tripartisan majority of the Assembly, especially if we unite under Francis Victor. The USP reformists aren't wrong with the idea that we need to change. But we should be in charge. Mr. Richter could be a potential ally in our goal to maintain the majority of the Assembly. Our party must fall in line with our position. We cannot have a strong divide. We go a strong ally. He's definitely key in this. The reformist demands are clear. They want to limit the president's veto power, ensure that the Supreme Court is independent, and take away the court's right to vote on constitutional amendments. Support the reformers. We need to proper balance the power in this country. We must listen to their demands, otherwise they are no different than the previous administration. We won't allow them to influence me. We will shape our own future. Thank you for the raider. Balance the power in this country. I agree. We cannot ignore the winds of change, after all. The old guard will do its best to preserve the Constitution. Chief Justice Hucker and his allied judge have become great influences over the Supreme Court, which will be tough to break. The court also has a final say over constitutional legislation. Without their approval, we cannot even change it. We need a comprehensive bill to balance the power structure more fairly. We must break the power of the Supreme Court one way or another. I'd rather not go against them. The risks are too high. Ah. We'll go with this one. Comprehensive bill. I agree. The old guard won't like this, though. A comprehensive reform that would make the reformists happy would mean maintaining a balance between all branches of government. Thank you for the raider. Which means removing an absolute veto as well. The reformists demand that all loopholes in the Constitution are closed. Looks like we have many challenges ahead. We cannot allow obstructionists to exist. We cannot underestimate this situation. Many challenges ahead. We can figure it out. Our party still holds 130 out of the 250 seats in the assembly. We've got the power. However, to reform the Constitution, we must receive a 2/3 majority in the Grand National Assembly, which is 166 votes, and a simple majority in the Supreme Court that equates to 6 votes. After we have settled on how to propose, we will need to talk to our party figures. Our first goal must be to get 150 signatures needed to start the process. Following the green light for the USP, we will reach out to the other party leaders to see if they would back our drafts. The last step is to convince the justice of the court. The entire process will take a long time, but we must start working with the Reform Committee to evaluate all possibilities for a new constitution as soon as possible. We'll write a more democratic constitution with a reformist. The new constitution should give the president wide-range power to lead Switzerland in the future. We could work with the old guard to protect our existing extensive powers. The old guards are not happy with us already, so. That's what we've been preparing for internally. Don't forget that promise is what got us elected. The key thing here will be the strengthening the power of the assembly, which we would lead with the majority. Peter nodded in agreement. Yes, the division of power needs to be rebalanced for a better Switzerland. According to the initial draft we made the reformist, there are 2 changes of the Constitution that are not open for their discussion. Lucian opened the dossier. First, the Supreme Court will no longer vote on constitutional amendments. Second, the president's absolute veto will be taken away. This can be replaced with a limited veto system by fixing the current loopholes. No problems with the clauses. Let's work with the reformers. I'd rather not include either of those points. Well, we'll work with the farmers. Yes, sir. We will form a reform committee together with all the parties and start reaching out to the stakeholders in the assembly and the court for the new constitution. Thank you for the raider. By later in the year, we should have an idea of the reform contents and what the other parties want. Lucille takes notes. Another important point we must be aware of: the Lothenburg group. The oligarchs convene under the organization to influence economical policies. Conrad led it to a long time before falling ill. The new leader is Mr. Walter Tusk. Thank you for the raiders. We've got 12.5 minutes left. According to reports, some members of the National Business Council are in their pockets. Tusk and the group will surely try to bribe us in exchange for special economical protections. Oh, so this makes it clickable. Okay. I want to work with them anyway. The new administration will be open to talk to businessmen. I won't be bought. It won't happen. We'll enter a dialogue with them eventually. We need to be diplomatic. We won't let these privileged, greedy, and snobby capitalists run the country. A lot of options there. I won't be bought. We need to be diplomatic. Wise approach. It's good to understand and see if we can reach a middle ground. As far as I know, Marcel Corenty had some strong ties to this country. Or to this group. His influence could definitely be an asset for us. But I'm sure he'll want something in return. I'm aware of Mr. Corrington's wide network. This could come in handy. The group's influence is an important force, ones that we should use to our administration advantage. Wrong button. That group is dependent on our economical policies. They can't move a finger without us. Thank you for the raider. Tusk is heading the group. We should make sure he is on our side. He'd be a useful ally as well. Tusk has an incredible network and owns a good amount of Burgil steel. We need to tread carefully on all sides with all power players to survive our turn. I need to undermine the seriousness of the situation. The military and the general staff are a powerful element in the state, and as history tells us, a dangerous one too. We do have some room to make structural changes by reducing their budget, for example, but it is quite limited. I want to receive the advice of the military before making up my mind. I don't want to die in prison just like Archer S. Wissy did. With the Rumburg threat on the horizon, we can reduce our defense. We can't reduce our defense capability and anger our general staff. The military has nothing but a burden to our society. We should do something drastic, like cutting their funding. We should listen to the military. Because if they're defending our thing, you know, it's sound to listen to them. But they have very biased and narrow opinions. Patriotism clouds their mind. General Kruger is a specter of the past. Defense Minister Isovlasil is more loyal to us compared to General Kroger. A fact that obviously can change with our actions. Either way, I see a potential rift between the two, since they are clearly of different minds. If we act strangely against the military, both of those guys will unite against us. I agree with Lasarn. We need to tread carefully. Lucino looked at his watch. Well then, gentlemen, precisely 30 minutes. This concludes our political briefing for today. Our next meeting will be about our media strategy. Talk to you soon. I will keep in touch. See you both at the next meeting. Lucino and Peter bid their farewells and left. A mysterious amount of smoke was rising from far away on the horizon. Why are these readable again? What this? Report from Marbury. That's not it. That's it. We read that one. We read this one. Police report on HSU fire. Fire. Fire broke out at the State University. Initial report. Let's go with the meeting of this Social media. We got 7 minutes to get your raiders in the battlefield. Soon arrived at the office to talk about the recent development and the media strategy. They both took their seat across from me. Lucille put on his reading glasses and quickly went over some documents. Peter turned to Lucille and nodded. Greetings, gentlemen. I have just received further information from the interior about the sudden fire that broke out at the Holston State University. Archives nearby. Was it put out quickly? It's not a subject of interest. Was it put out quickly? Our firefighters put out the fire as soon as they could. Yet, it was 6 hours after an extensive damage was done to the archives and the building. I will arrange medals to recognize their bravery for doing their best. The Holsword Fire Department is full of tough chaps. The information we received raises some eyebrows. The initial report from the Holston police chief indicates a potential arson case. In accordance with further suspicion, a Swedish intelligence directorate has been called. Is the SID really necessary for this? Why would anyone hit the archives of the university in the first place? I see no logical motivation here. Thank you for the raider. It seems like the chief suspects foreign sabotage. They informed us that the large section of the archive has been destroyed. It includes tens of thousands of our globally recognized research documents, an original by the great thinkers of our people. Same so much knowledge was lost. To Peter's point, what could be the motive if it was arson? We need to support our education system and make new discoveries of the future. Pursuing our knowledge is as important as expanding on it. It's interesting that the employee records have been destroyed as well. Luckily, most of the originals have copies in other universities and some international libraries. My favorite book's original, The Geopolitical of Sorland by Herman Equal, was destroyed too. Maybe it was just a fire accident. We do have the copies of most important works, so no single fire can eradicate our knowledge. I also see no point destroying employees' records either. More importantly, Lucerne mentioned that Marcel Coranti contacted him. The Corantis have always been known as one of the richest and most influential families of Sorland. Marcel Cortano was no exception. He was the oldest son of Conrad Coranti, the industrialist and the media mogul who founded Haas. The richest man in the entirety of Sorland was Haas. The heart of Scotland. Lucia turned to me. He has offered to meet with you, Mr. President. What does he want? Why is Conrad sending his son? Why should I meet with him? 3 minutes to get your raiders in. Why is he sending his son? He, unfortunately passed away today. After the passing of his father, may he rest in peace. Marcel aims to become the next CEO of Haas Conglomerate. He mentioned a productive collaboration. They are a powerful and influential media conglomerate. To start with, they own the Sorland Today newspaper, the Swedish Broadcasting Corporation, which means it would be wise to have them on your side. Sorry for interrupting. What does this product collect entail? Let's consider our options. No need to be hasty. Sounds like there is a potential here. 2 minutes. Let's consider our options. I agree. We need to be careful. Thank you for the raider. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we need to determine our general approach to media. I'm no media expert, but Lucille made some very interesting arguments at the preparation meeting yesterday. There are two ways we can approach the media. One of them is by influencing it, which has a clear advantage. The other one is keeping it independent. Media must be independent. The media is a tool to be used. Let's go with independent. Ideally, yes, but an unpopular leader will not be able to pass even the easiest reforms. It is of the utmost importance to maintain public popularity and avoid any damaging scandals or mistakes. I must stress one thing, Mr. President. The more people we have supporting our agenda, the more we can accomplish. With someone on our side in an influential media organization, we can do it very easily. Alright, I must stress one thing. I see what you're getting at. Two wrongs don't make a right. I share your opinion. I agree with Lucerne. But why the assumption there'll be scandals and mistakes? Because that's what we do when we have power. We make scandals. We can always hope for the best. But do we really think that nothing can go wrong? Especially considering the very recent history of Swordland? Two knocks were heard on the door. How are you enjoying Super People? There's a lot of people like Super People. Oh, because it's free. Free's good. Oh, it's not really planned release. Wah, wah. Oh, it's the final beta on Steam. What is that? It's Livia, Mr. President. My new secretary entered the office. Her dark curls bounced as she crossed the room to my desk. She spoke with a slight lilt in her voice. What is a lilt? Lilt voice. The pitch of their voice rises and falls in a pleasant way, as if they were singing. Oh, so now we gotta sing. Great. Well, that's what lilt is. Excuse me, Mr. President. Mr. Gallardi's secretary has been calling me and wanted me to relay a message. Marcel Coronto, the new CEO of Haas Conglomerate, is on the line for Mr. Gallardi. Well, the ball is in our court now. Would you like to talk to him, sir? Or would you like me to? I'll talk to him. Connect the line to my office. You go ahead. Connect the line to my office so I can eavesdrop anyway. Well, you go ahead. He doesn't want to talk to me. Right away, sir. Oh, wait, that's her. Right away, sir. Connecting the call to line 1. Livia left the room and the phone started ringing. Ring, ring. Lucia picked up the phone and listened to the line. A few minutes passed as the two talked over the phone. Good news indeed. Congratulations, Mr. Caronti. Thank you for contacting me about this. We will talk later. Thank you for the raider. Lucille put the phone down. What was so important that it couldn't wait? He was just elected as CEO of the board of directors. He offered a partnership deal regarding his media branch. He is inviting us to his resort near Conradt for a meeting. The board has decided rather quickly. Seemed that gave him the confidence to approach us again. He is going to offer a real deal, and now has the power to conglomerate too. The choice is up to you, Mr. President. I can set up the meeting soon. I would like to hear your opinion, Peter. Arrange the meeting. I do not want to associate with the media Mongol. Reject the offer. Peter, what's your opinion? I have to say I'm torn. If he has to become the CEO, then he has enormous influence now. On the other hand, do we want to privately meet with someone we don't fully know? The meeting would help us figure him out. We could still say no to whatever he offers. Arrange a meeting. I do not want... Arrange a meeting. I'll set things up right away. Expect a worthwhile meeting next month. It's settled then. Looking forward to next month. I wonder if he has a pool. It appears we're done here today. We will continue where we left off later. Thank you for your time. Good work with Marcel. Keep it up. See you soon, gentlemen. Thank you for the raider. We were already getting the attention of key figures and potentially dangerous ones.